Hey, brothers and sisters, what's up? This is the Reluctant Nabi back again. Um, and kind of getting things started here. And kind of getting things started here. Hold on for a second. Hold on. All right, there we go. There we go. Whoop, there it is. All right, need to do one more thing. All right. All right. Now we're cooking with fire, as they say. All right. Hey, brothers and sisters, what's up? What's up? This is the Reluctant Nabi back again. All right. Hold on. So we're back again. Look like all 50 states are going to open up. All right. And basically, that's because they don't want none of that fire that's been going down. You had people marching everywhere. All right. So it is what it is. All right. So in this, one of the things that I wanted to break down to people is I hear it all the time, and quite frankly, there are groups in the United States that I don't think have a right to even comment. They have a right to comment on the section. But what I'm talking about is the group that think that they can define what something is, especially when they are not the ones that have experienced the brunt of things, but while at the same time being the one that were the creators of said thing, to the point where they took advantage or were able to take advantage of said thing. All right. Excuse the clothes in the background, but it was kind of laundry day, and I don't fold or do any work on the Sabbath, so it is what it is. All right. As you see, and I try to keep this painfully clear so that y'all can get an understand. I am a regular guy, regular 9 to 5. Well, I ain't regular 9 to 5. I'm regular my behind, retired militarily. Medically militarily, so I'm gonna just let it go like that. Okay. So I want y'all to understand some things for what they really are. All right, because I think a lot of the mix-up that we have as a people. Let's turn this like this so I can face it. A lot of the mix-up that we have as a people is a lack of understanding where things should fall and where these things are defined. All right. So I'm going to greet everybody real quick, just in case I forgot. I probably didn't forget. But just in case I did, Hovorn Hadugudag, Ola Oi to the Bank, Vasas Los, Bonjour, Mizami, Kedubawan ni Konnichiwa, Ni Hao Ni Ama, Sani Bonani, Jumbo Habaragani, Assalamu alaikum, and Shalom. And Kumusta Ka, and Kamusta Pokayo. All right, to my peeps out in the Philippines. All right. So, as I get these notices out and get brothers on board, let me remind you, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. All right, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. But let me see what I sent him. Okay, got it. And who did I send it to him? Yeah. All right, so let me go on here. Go on up in here. Come up in here. Let people know here. All right, so basically, I think we are weakened as a people when we let people define something that hasn't really been the people that have experienced the things that they get to define. Worse yet, we are at an advantage when we let the main perpetrators of a defined thing define the thing that they are the perpetrators of. All right. Now, because nothing is absolute, we are also at a disadvantage because we may inherently accuse others of fulfilling the definition because we have not clearly defined what something is in and of itself in a righteous way, where we can get the people that are culpable but leave the innocent alone. All right? And so this is our problem right here. When you get into deep philosophical issues like this, most of the people in the United States shut themselves off to it. Kumusta ka? Kumusta ka, Marde? All right. Most of the people lack the understanding or the will to have an understanding. Why? Because much of what's going on in the United States operates on an agenda. And by agenda, I mean straight out H8. What you have here is a bunch of people seeking an advantage to hurt others and use regular people as a pawn. Now, how are they able to use regular people as a pawn? Most regular people have not really thought about how something is defined because they got too comfortable in accepting the definition of something by the people that are perpetrating the things that they are defining. You cannot or should not have a person that is unjust define what justice is. Doesn't make sense. I mean, really, it really doesn't make sense. How do you have the person that do not have justice define justice? Hold on for a second. Make sure I didn't unplug anything. All right. So how do you do that? Make sure my feed is still going on good. Because some of the times when you deal with proper things like this, YouTube be bugging. All right. So how do you do that? All right. One of the biggest problems that we have had is we have been making the innocent guilty. And what that does is it allows the guilty to have carte blanche. When we do not understand, how to separate and righteously have righteous judgment as to who's been doing us wrong and who've been doing us right, then we run into a problem. But we run into that problem because when we get to certain things that's just a little too much to think about because we don't like thinking, we let the main perpetrators of said thing that's being defined think for us. And this is where we run into trouble. This is where we run into trouble. This is where we run into trouble. We run into trouble when we don't sit around as a people and clearly define what is just and unjust based on what is just and unjust. All right. What I've seen here is I've seen one party in particular who has a platform built specifically on oppressing us. This is how they came up with their name. This is how they came into being. Their whole goal was to oppress us as Afro people. We have them defining what racism is in error. Many of us are calling people with prejudices racist. Now, I want y'all to understand something right quick. Everybody on earth has prejudices, without which one could not survive earth. Prejudices kind of keeps you safe. But the thing is, are your prejudices just? Here's a prejudice. Some people may not be comfortable with allowing somebody that is hooked on crack up in their house because in the experiences of their lives or what they've heard from others, they steal. And they don't want to risk somebody stealing from them. Now, this is a prejudice because not everybody that is hooked on drugs steal. But if people have any experience, they will find that most of whom they've met when they weren't looking have stolen from them. All right. So, because of experience, and as they say, experience is a good teacher. Because of experience, you have people that hold prejudices towards those that are hooked on drugs. Some prejudices are founded, and some prejudices are unfounded. Now, in this is something that I thought about, and this is an opinion. And so I'm gonna open the lines up to see what many of you others think about this. This is an opinion that I developed. All right. This is an opinion that I have developed based on my personal experiences, both in the military, civilian, and hospitals, my time as I was learning in school, and then what I see of the so-called Black community in action. Okay, hey, Yadiah, tell this brother to send me his address. Hey, brother, send me your address so that I can send you some thank you things, because every live and every video I have is in another language. Hold on. Hey, brother, period. Send me, not sing me, send. Y'all are starting to see why I have so many misspellings some of the times, or words that ain't doing what I want them to do. Send me your address so that I can send you some thank you things, because you share my videos a lot. And I'm talking about every video that I put up, I've seen you share. Period. So I have some thank you gifts for you. Period. All right. So basically that's where we're at, right? We are in a place where a lot of us have not put the proper thought into things, and we erroneously allow others to define for us terminologies and instances that we should define for ourselves. And so basically, I want to hear from some of you brothers, and I want to hear from many of you brothers that's here, as to how we should gather together and define these things. All right. And something tells me that this particular video, because of what we're talking about, is going to have somewhat of a low turnout. All right. I'm kind of expecting, because some of us love to stay in ignorance, because you know the old phrase, ignorance is bliss. You know, you've heard it said again, time and time again, ignorance is bliss, right? And I don't think ignorance is bliss. I think ignorance is downright dangerous. All right. And if you don't understand that Now, all I ask you to do is take a look at what's going on with this COVID-19 thing. All right, take a look at it. To even mention the word, those who have their channels monetized, Google and YouTube are demonetizing them. Right? Now, let me tell you what this does. It puts us in a dangerous state because no one really understands what's going on. Because Google and YouTube are not allowing people to make their minds up for themselves as to what they want to see. They are allowing people who's going around looking for channels to shut down determine which channels get shut down. And of course, these people are going to unjustly have channels shut down that are contrary to their worldview. In other words, they want to be ignorant and they want everybody else to stay as ignorant as they are. All right. So let me greet people real quick. Hey, what's up, Texas Marine? What's up, P. Vic, Daniel Porter, Lord Vader? What's going down? All right. Hey, Antonio Johnson. Hey, what's up, the Blue Chemist? Hey, Mr. Pirate Brains. Hey, if you have my regular number, no. I'll give you the other number to call on. All right. Or if you have, hey, what's up, Roddy Benoit? All right. If you have Facebook Messenger, you'll be able to call in on that also. All right. So this is what I came up with. All right. This is based on my life's experiences and stuff. All right. And then we'll talk about it. All right. Before I come up with the definitions, for those that I'm starting new things for those that are new here. I'm sending thank you things, thank you gifts and stuff to people that's been donating to the channel. One, because I want to do something special, and two, because it's going to help me help a lot of the brothers and sisters in the favelas, and even some maybe here. But dealing with things here is a lot easier. But in the favelas, and so any support for that is appreciated. But I wanted to do something because I appreciate what people have been doing. So I have different categories of thank yous. Oh, the katana is gone. The katana is history. I'm going to just let you know right now. That lasted I mailed it out yesterday, but yeah, that didn't stay around long. But there's another katana on the way. All right. So, when I mailed it, the katana was expensive to mail. So when the next katana gets here, that would be for those that donate and would like that as a thank you, that donate over $250 to help me out with what I do, to help this channel out. I'll send that to you. Anybody that donates 15, that donates, and this is going to be going forth. If you want it, you don't have to get it, but I'm gonna send it. Like the guy with the katana, he didn't watch the channel at all, so he didn't know that I was giving it out. So I asked him if he wanted it, and he said yes. So he didn't ask for it, but I was like, hey, I'm doing the thank you thing. Would you like a katana? You know. So basically, and so the other thing is, and these are for knife enthusiasts. So if you're not, I'll think of something else. I was doing other things in the past, hats and stuff. So now this is the new thank you thing that I have. And so this is like one, these ones I've been practicing. Watch. What you know, man? What you know? Nah. But these are good field knives. So these are 20 people that donate 25 or more. And let's see. So I got a bunch of these sizes. All right. And I'm going to do it based on how much it costs me to ship stuff. All right. Then you got these for people that donate 60 or more. And that's if you want to, because a lot of people donate a lot of money to this channel to help me do what I do in the favelas, to help this channel do what we do in the favelas and stuff. This one. But anyway, and so I want to show people my appreciation, especially for those that donate big. And some of the times I was able to do things in the past because many of y'all ended up with watches that donated over my channel over time. I just can't afford the Invicta watches anymore. But because as you know, my channel keep getting shut down and they took away all the money making things. All right. So my channel, it does not it's not monetized. And I like this. So this one is hard. You got to push the back really, really hard. Yeah. I like this one. I don't know who this would be for. A giant, maybe, where this is like a small one. So basically, for like there are categories, and if you would like one in a category, what I would do is when I see you do something like your diet, I see this dude shares my stuff on all the channel, so I'm just going to send him something because I'm thanking him because he shared my videos a lot. He shares my videos to a lot of people, so that's how I thank people, right? And so if I see that you share my channel a lot to people, I'll just call you out and say, hey, can I just have your address to send you something? All right. So for those that donate 55 or more, 25 or more, or whatever, I'll show you a night. One of the knives I have in each category, probably on Facebook or even here, like the next video that I do, like the next live that I do, and you show up, I'll ask you if you want one, and then I'll just send it to you. All right. I'll just say, send your address to my email. Don't ever send it in these live things. So that's basically how that goes. So now let's get into the definition. Brothers, this is what I came up with. I have something for Bertha too, but I wonder if she needs it. All right. So I'm waiting for her to show up. But anyway, brothers, this is what's going on. This is what I have. All right. So many times we have allowed the people that have oppressed us to define what racism is, and they don't get to do that. Period. They're not allowed in my book. And we get to determine who's allowed to define these things and who's not. All right. And so I'm going to go by the luminaries like Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Malcolm X. See, Malcolm X learned something about Caucasian people. He learned that they weren't all bad, but then he learned that that was outside of this country. See what I'm saying? So we can't be blinded that because we know some good ones, that the laws and mechanisms that was put in place in this country is beneficial to us, because it's not. All right. The breakdown of the laws in this country, they were designed against us because before John Quincy Adams and all of them, all right, we weren't even considered fully human being if we had melanated skin. Period. We weren't. All right. So then what did I come up with? This is something I thought about long and hard, and it's nuanced. See, we have to learn to get some nuanced thinking. When we talk about racism versus prejudice, everyone has a prejudice. I do. Based on how people treated me in the past, how our brains work is if a certain segment of people treated me real bad, then I'm gonna have a prejudice against that particular segment of people. Now, the difference that I came up with as the difference between the two, the racism and the prejudice, is this: that when somebody can bring to bear a systemic a systemic thing, organization, or group of rules that can be applied to cause your demise, right? And it's systemic based on one's race of superiority, thinking that the other is inferior. All right. And it has to be this systemic thing. And let me explain this. We've been looking for people and at people, and we've been talking about the system, but you have to marry up the harm that the system does to especially us as Afro men, and who is wielding the system against us. That's what we haven't done. The people that wield the system against us because of our skin color, by creating nuanced laws to keep us oppressed, meaning that YouTube, when they created their ambiguous guidelines that affected primarily Afro people that was trying to improve their condition in the community, where people who's never felt racism came up with the definitions of what those guidelines are, that would be racist. Because they defined a term that did not apply to them. Then the people that they say that the term protects were the people that they did the most harm against. That would be minorities. And they did the harm against us because they determined that they, as the majority and owners now of the platform that they bought on some insidious whatever, right? They get to determine what our speech is as a minority people. And if we don't do what they want, they make us pay a penalty. In my case, you saw what they said. We will demonetize your channel for putting up Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, who is a luminary for us. For Malcolm X, who is a luminary for us. And even the speech by Martin Luther King, where he says the next time we march, we're coming for our checks. Because he found out that the government underhandedly was giving Caucasian people's land grants, and then teaching them to farm the land, and then paying them not to farm the land. In other words, under every condition, they kept an intact Caucasian family on farmland, gave them free teaching and the knowledge, and then on top of that, gave them loans so that they could buy equipment to use the land. Martin Luther King was educated on this, and he got riled up and he said, no, we're coming for our check. And next thing you know, the Democratic government assassinated him. The Democratic government assassinated Malcolm X. As we know, the Black Panther Party, not this new stuff, but the old ones that really cared about the community, they came up with WIC and was instituting it. Not on a religious level, but on a community level where they felt like that Afro people needed to do for Afro people on a community level. They were infiltrated, set up, lied on, bore false witness against, and then murdered. Many of them. Period. Part of what went on is they didn't understand their enemy because they thought they only had one enemy, the white man. And some of the times had they made known to other Caucasian men, but the problem was that those Caucasian men would have stood up for what they were trying to do. All right, we got to be able to figure out who's righteous and who's not. That's the key. Racism they got infiltrated by the BAWs. All right. So let's be clear. They got infiltrated by the BAWs that were working for the FBI. Martin Luther King, I put the lady up that he was infiltrated by a BAW. Remember, the first almost successful assassination of Martin Luther King was a BAW. All right? But at no point did we look at them as people being as much as adversarial as they were to Afro men. All right? So, this is why I came up with racism as this definition. Racism is systemic. So if you run a system whereby you hold people back because of their race and you define that they don't get to speak freely about things that's going on with you because you determine what's right and wrong for that race, that's racism. That's a system created to hold people down in which a person has power over that system to keep the people down. And they do it based on their race. Even though in a sly way, they say, oh, no, this isn't because of race. All right, that's racism. That's most of our laws in the United States. That's most of our democratic laws, the laws that the Democrats came up with. That is the Democrat platform to eliminate melanin. Remember, the Democrats was started because the Republicans, a while back during the Civil War and pre-Civil War and post-Civil War, thought that Afro people should be free. The indigenous people should be free. Oh, and we were referred to as indigenous back then. Oh, yeah. The first 3 censuses, we were referred to as the Indians. Oh, yeah. So what kind of system would be created to make people forget totally who they are and never get the education to understand who they are? Then to have the Afro man be taken out of the home so that the benefits of running the home could go only to the woman, the Black woman. So when you gave Caucasian people the farms, you gave it to intact families. When the Democrats made up the rules for the Afro family, the Afro indigenous people in America, formerly known as Black people, they told the woman, you need to kick the man out of the home. Gladys Knight and a bunch of other singers made songs about this because they saw then the evil that this was. Don't get rid of your man. Don't get rid of the man. But these women did it anyway. Then taught that to their daughters, who taught that to their daughters. All right. So the people that came up with that system were racist. Not to be confused with the people that are just prejudiced. See, a prejudice, you can change their mind with evidence. Prejudiced people usually change their mind when they meet a righteous man. Wow, I just really thought that you people were just like, but now I'm starting to see that y'all are really spiritual, like good God of the earth type people. Well, where did you think that from? Hollywood. Wait a minute. Hollywood is a system whereby they show primarily negative images of the Afro male. As a matter of fact, there was one point in Hollywood where if you didn't play that image, you weren't going to get no love from Hollywood. You weren't going to get no show. You wasn't going to be on nothing in Hollywood. Understand this. So that was a whole nother system run by a bunch of directors and a bunch of other entities that was designed to keep us down. That worked, and they did this so long that even when we had successful shows, they copied them and then SI on the Afro shows. Living Single would be one of those. As you know, Friends, the people that wrote Friends did that off of Living Single. Living Single couldn't get any love from the people that produce Friends, even though the people that produce Living Singles produce Friends. They said this black version is, man, out of sight. Let's create a white version, but only let's give them what they want, and let's keep these Afro people poor, struggling. All right. I was watching Hollywood Shuffle, and I started thinking about this. I was watching Hollywood Shuffle. Hilarious. But in it, it had like the pimps, zombie pimps and stuff like that. The whole point of Hollywood Shuffle was how at one point in Hollywood, it was white people teaching Afro-American people how to act black in the hood. Right? And then they wanted things more from seasoned thespians with good diction. They wanted things, I loved it, that dude. Man, you killed it, my man. You see what I mean? It's funny. But when the brother started the weigh-ins and all of this. When this brother started that and did these things, right? It opened a lot of people's eyes. It opened a lot of people's eyes to the point where in the 2000s, they start shutting down that kind of thought and start promoting the garbage that we have now, like basketball wives. Because does life imitate art, or do art imitate life? Why would they shut that down? Why would they go after Cosby the way they did? Racism. They used the system against him. So what I am saying is we need to change before we start calling everybody racist. We need to see if they're using a system against us, specifically us, to hurt us. All right. We need to hold those accountable who's been doing it and have been doing it in the past. We need to stop letting the news and the media define who's been racist to us. Like the media that cannot stand Trump. But Trump has not been racist to us. But I'm going to tell you what skin that the media has in the game. If you look on CNN, the majority of the males, I think Wolf Blitzer is the only one I noticed that's not, belong to the alphabet crew. You know, the people that stole the rainbow. Look at that. And these people, they are not for the Afro community. Remember, if you're for that community is 79% of them identify as Caucasians. And they are telling everybody what to do through politics of the Democratic Party, through Hollywood and the media. All right. Robert Townsend started a lot of positivity with Afro people in the media. Bill Cosby just took that up on steroids. All right. He got a lot of people started in the industry. And then we find out, well, you just can't work within the system because they'll find a way to shut that down. Remember when rap and hip hop was positive? All the stuff that you see now are not produced by them rap artists. Somebody is paying Jay-Z to be the sellout that he is. All right. So, how do you find this? Anybody that uses that oppressive system against us, the minority, would be the racist. Anyone that has the power to wield the oppressive system against the minority would be a racist. Those that just don't like you because of past life experience, they might be prejudiced, but they might not be racist. How you know? Evidence could change their mind to suit them that, oh, you know what? I misjudged you. That's a prejudice. And we all have them. The easiest thing to change. So let me say this. In the United States, can Black people be racist? That's the question we've always been asking, right? And because we could not define what racism is, no one really knew. So here's the question. Can Black people be racist? Hell yeah. But not the way you think. All right? We already know white people can be racist. This is how it works. The Afro male is the least racist person in America, because the Afro male does not have a system, an entire system that is meant to disenfranchise another group of individuals. So because he cannot disenfranchise a group of individuals based on their race because of by using a system, he cannot be racist. But you said, brother, you said Afro people can be racist. Yes. The female has the ability to not like men because of their color. And even if she gives it up to them, it's all a part of her plan to use the system to dominate that man or keep him down. You understand? Here's the rub. So I'll put it like this. Yeah, that's a good thing. Variance 2020, the hate that hate made. Quote by Malcolm X. Here's the thing. Anybody that can unjustly wield a system against people based on not liking them because of their gender, male, color, brown, because I'm not black, I'm still not black, or race, indigenous, aboriginal, to the point where these same women cannot stand that we don't want to be called black. That we went and looked up and found out that no, we are originally from this place. Most of us. And even if we came over from the motherland, we're still indigenous and aboriginal to all lands. And because of all the mixing in between the people that came over, since the majority of the people were already here, the majority of the Aboriginal people, the melanated people were already here. That's why it was so easy for the Africans that were brought over here, the 350,000. That's all. That's why it was so easy for them to blend into all the nations, or many of the nations, not all of them. All right. So the female can be racist against the Afro male. You understand? So what if a Caucasian man marries, like Candace Owens? Candace Owens has a Caucasian husband, which means that now she has a real good system entrenched that she could use against Afro men. She's not with one, so obviously she don't care for them too much. She picked her other options. She said the glory and the fame is over here with the Caucasian guy, and she's getting glory and fame. She says an advantage is over here with the Caucasians. She's getting all of that. All right. So she can be racist against us, Afro males, and her husband can. But wait a minute. Caucasian people can be racist against other Caucasian people. I bring her up because her husband is Caucasian. And what if he got heat from marrying her? But then let's think about that for a second. Maybe he didn't get heat. Maybe that was strategic, because she got a whole bunch of Afro people listening to her, whereas they might not have listened to a man. Why did they make this calculation? Because they figured that most of the men in the so-called black community listen to their mama or people that look like their mama. You put a female up that takes what I've been saying in my videos. You put that female up that's saying she'll take the comments that I've been making in my video and other men, and she'll go over there and make them, and you have a whole bunch of dudes sending her videos of her saying stuff that you and other brothers have been talking about for a long time. And why do these women do this? Because YouTube allows them to make money taking our themes, and they're just using it to make money. They don't care about us. You know how you know? Because they're all single. They're all single. The only dudes they mess with is thugs. They had their child and stuff, and we just a come up because they know that thirsty dudes will sell out other dudes and bring more attention to their channel. All they have to do is show a little chest. The black girl from Queen and Slim is married to a white man. But look at that movie in and of itself. A lot of these women that are getting famous, that's getting these Hollywood roles, that's why they're getting with the Caucasian man. Right? And basically, the Caucasian man probably isn't racist. Well, we don't know. In Hollywood, that's a stretch. In Hollywood, in the government, that's a stretch. Right? But I mean, the average everyday man, he might not be. He might only have the potential, but might not be. But that BAW definitely is in general, because they chose to be single, and they did it by wielding a racist system against the Afro man that was already disadvantaged, and they used that system to bludgeon him and not only keep him down, but hold him there. The irony is the Caucasian women y'all been taught to be aware of have oftentimes been the savior of the Afro man. And even when she's done that, the Afro man, even though he finds her attractive, and even though he's seen the work, and even though he knows he would be in jail had it not been for her, still won't be with that woman because he's that brainwashed into thinking that he either should have a BAW or die alone. And most of these dudes are in these religious camps or in this religious mindset. But if you die alone, then you're disobeying the commandment where it says be fruitful and multiply. Oh, this thing is deep. All right. A lot of people run around Trump is racist, but he's done nothing but good for the Afro people in general. Whereas every single policy that Obama came up with and the Democrats came up with to date have been utterly destructive to our families and communities. Because when you relegate the man to nothing and don't give him the power to protect his own community, his house, and worse than that, you give the woman the authority to get rid of the protector and be paid extortion. Not only that, you give the woman the ability to use the full force of a wicked law that is wicked by its nature to kidnap the man's child and throw him in jail. You better understand, white people ain't your problem. Y'all better understand that. When the woman is able to do that, When anybody is able to bring the system to bear in such a way where a minority is just crushed under that load. Hold on. And we're not talking about the wenches, so to speak, because they just left us alone. Period. All right. You need to stop following them because they don't speak for us anymore. They don't speak for us. They do not care about us. They care only about their husband. And that's who they're supposed to only care about, to be honest. All right. So the women that married the other, I don't care. They don't care about me. I don't care about them. Let them get what they get, whatever, whatnot. We shouldn't follow them. And we should understand that they do not speak for us when they're speaking to us. They're speaking on behalf of their husband. And they're being used because we have been so conditioned to listen to females over men that they are able to use the females to get us to do things that would be against our nature. All right? That's why I don't care about them in particular. I don't have a problem with them in particular. Right? I'm like, whatever advantage you think you're going to get, you get to do what you want in this country. You get to do it. The BAW get to do whatever she want everywhere. But here is the problem, and I want you to understand this. When an Afro man gets with a woman that is not a BAW, they bring to bear all their slugs, the thugs, the system, and everything against that Afro man. The men that decided to travel, they will use everything in their power to try to destroy that man. When men start talking about the truth as to what's really going on, they will shut down their ability to speak, to have groups. All these dudes, I tell them on Facebook, y'all should not have groups that involve the BAWs. Because if you do, she will make you shut down your group sooner or later. She will start poison in your group and your group will end up being gone. A guy that lost his group about 3 times still have him in his groups. Why? Because he's not interested in solving problems. He's not interested in men discussing what's going on. He's only interested in members, getting them numbers up. Period. And so what generally happens is a lot of his stuff gets shut down. At one point on YouTube, a bunch of women got together. They got together. They said they're going to have a block party. Where did I put it at? All right. They said they were going to have a block party. They got together. And then they went, oh, yes, here it is, the receipts. Is that the one I want? Nope. Here we go. All right. And so they use the laws of YouTube. Show you this. Oh, yeah, I keep receipts. They used the laws of YouTube to shut down Afro men. All right? They used the laws of YouTube to shut down Afro men. Yeah, y'all see I'm on there. And that's what they did. They got together as a group on Facebook, and they said to themselves, we are going to stop them from making money. Hold on. They understood the system. They said, be savvy about this, as individual videos can also be reported for other reasons about other protected groups. All right? Our freedoms as Afro men, our freedoms as Afro men have not really been taken away by the Caucasians. The Caucasians just developed the system by which others can take away our freedoms for them. Our freedoms as Afro men have been taken away by the BAW. When we look at racists, some of the times we're looking in the wrong place. You have to look at who's been doing the most harm to me as a person. Who's been robbing me of my freedom to be happy? Who's been using the system to cause and bring harm to me? Who's been defending that right? Even indirectly. You look at all this stuff, the main people that want everybody to stay inside would be the BAWs and the Democrats. They want us to stay locked up in our homes like we're in jail. And I'm going to put it to you like this. You know them people that come out, Brian Banks could tell you a little bit about this, with them ankle monitors? That's basically what you have. You have an ankle monitor for something that China did. Only they're going to punish you for it, and unjustly too. They say you don't get to make up your own mind. But who put them clowns in power? Oh, the people that was getting all this free stuff from them. And they were getting the free stuff to persecute us. We're not talking about just keeping us down. We're talking about a level of persecution that has gone through, that was created, the means, the weaponry, the system was created by the Caucasian government. But many of the people have been trying to warn us Afro men that we had it wrong. And only recently that we as a group of men start to see that we had it wrong. We had been looking in the wrong direction, or we forgot that we can be fighting a battle on two fronts. That's what we didn't realize, that we were in a battle on two fronts. But the fronts that did the most wickedness towards us was the front that was closest to us. You know, the one that some of the times you'd be laying in bed with. And then you start thinking, well, what is their purpose? All right. What is their purpose? To keep us subjected to to keep us subjected to this system that by design was created to either keep us under their foot or eliminate it. In the 60s to the 70s, they just assassinated the Democrats. If you look at who did end Martin Luther King, the Democrats. Malcolm X, the Democrats. The people that came up with WIC, the Democrats. SAFE, the Democrats. Free ambulance. Yeah, the Democrats got rid of the people that came up with it and then commandeered all their programs. The after school programs and the before school breakfasts. One of the things I remember growing up when I was going to school is I stayed hungry. Hey, what's up, Carlos? What's up, Frank? I was so hungry. And I remember being in the first grade and we used to watch the Electric Company and my teacher used to have like this cereal, corn pops. And she used to bring these corn pops. And we had to do so many things. And as a gift, we got some corn pops. Right. And I just wanted them corn pops. A lot of times she just gave it to me because she knew I was coming in starving. It's the reason why y'all see a bunch of boxes of cereal on top of my refrigerator. I share with everybody, all my neighbors. Hey, what's up, Shadow Secrets? There's a lot of problems in BitChute since is new and a lot of political alt-right psyops, but it's way, way better than YouTube. Matter of fact, yeah, I use BitChute, but let's be real. It doesn't matter where I go. And I'm on Facebook. I do some lives on Facebook. It doesn't matter where I go. Right? They shut down my ability to. So in a way, it kind of freed me up. Hey, Frizzle, my initial for shizzle. All right. Right. She is, remember, she says she is the backbone of the community because that's what that's the power that the system gave her. The power gave her the ability to destroy the community. She destroyed the backbone and then took its place. I mean, if you really look at it, right? But it's backfiring is because a lot of guys are waking up and they're like, wait a minute. We have nothing with this woman. We ain't got nothing. We don't have nothing with this woman. All right. We don't, all we get is grief. We'll get grief. We'll get sold out. Oh, there's that thumbs down. Oh, I knew that was coming on this one. We get grief. We'll get sold out. Right. A lot of times we was thinking, one of the things that really made me think about this. I was thinking about I oftentimes think about the tomb of the unknown soldiers. All right. So in the army, the unknown soldiers, that's the hardest patch to get. You have to be accepted. You have to be in the infantry, this, that, and the other, right? Now, understand something about, they go through all of this stuff. These people go through that. They mark, this stuff be on point. But unknown is they don't know who's buried there. And when you think about all that they volunteer to go through, they understand that it could be a bunch of black people's bones, so to speak, black people, that they're giving all this honor to, and yet they do it anyway because it was soldiers that died and that they were unknown. See the length? We don't even have that. We got a group of people that will give glory and honor to thugs that have never done anything, and I'm gonna put it to you this way. This is how sorry and sad the community has become by the one that can't stand the community. So she raised us. Many were raised to not think that they were important, that the job of the man was important. They don't think the job of the man is important. They don't think the job of the man is important because that's what their moms taught them. I need to stop slipping up and allowing females in my live videos, except for Bertha and the ones we trust. Okay? So basically, when you really look at this, we have a lot of females that threw good men away because they didn't think a good father was important for children. All right? And you got a lot of dudes that's looking in the wrong place to see who's racist against them. As men that's melanated, I'm pretty sure by now you figured out that if nobody wanted to be with you but women of other communities to this point in your life, right? While they'll be with bottom shelf Brad, so to speak, then these are people that do not like you because of your color and your gender. In other words, you are in their eyes a black male. And so the same vitriol we got from Caucasian people in the 50s, the average Afro male is getting it from the BAWs in the 2000s, in the 2020s. Think about that. More of us was eliminated through abortion. Remember, abortion is something that only the black woman can do. If a man takes the life of a child that's in a woman's belly, he will go to jail for murder, manslaughter, or whatever. Even by accident, he will go to jail. So when you look at who's done in the Afro community the most, it would have to be the person that destroyed, took out, disappeared 22 million to 60 million lives, Afro lives, black lives. See, black lives don't matter to these females. Thug lives matter. Pookie and Ray Ray lives matter. But when they say the lives of these children and good men, it don't matter. So when we decide to jet, who's the main person stopping us? Who's the main person that's trying to take our rights away? See, this is something to think about. What? I thought BitChute was free speech. No, BitChute. No, what I'm saying is BitChute. Most of the listeners are here. I put stuff up on BitChute some of the time. All right, but it's hard to do lives and stuff like that because right now I'm doing lives. I'm not really putting up a lot of videos anymore. All right, I'm putting up videos. I'm taking a break. I'm in the process of move. I'm buying something. Some of the brothers know, but I'm not going to let that cat out the bag. But let's just say that after graduation, I will be moving, and I'll be doing these videos from another place. So and because YouTube, I don't want YouTube to make money off my channels because I can't make money off my channels. And since it's not about money for me anyway, I'll keep putting up videos, but I put them up when I feel like it. And I don't put them up as often, even though I have a lot to talk about, because I'm going to just use the time to take a break. I'm thinking like it's a message. Take a break, but still keep hitting hard. All right. Letting the brothers know what's really up. All right. What I'm saying is a lot of times we're accusing Caucasians of being racist, and a lot of them might only be prejudiced. Some of them might not be prejudiced or racist, but the system has always been against us. All right. We get a guy up in there that's shaking the system up. That should be a good thing to all of us, right? But who gassed up these smokehead people? Well, the media. Well, the media don't represent us. The media represent the 79% of Caucasian males that's a part of the alphabet group, the rainbow stealers. You see what I mean? That's who CNN represent. All them dudes, with the exception of Wolf Blitzer. All right? MSNBC the same way. All right? And so when we look at this, so that's the media. And if you work for the media, then you are what you work for. Right? In a job where your job is to manipulate and control people. If you're okay with that, then you are with that. So when the media looks bad, you shouldn't have a problem with people thinking you're bad too. Oh, no problem, Shadow Secrets. All right. And so basically, this is where we are. We are in a place that we did not recognize as Afro men, that minority Afro men, that by design, we are fighting on two fronts. All right. And y'all need to understand that we're fighting on two fronts. But the worst of the front is the people that are closest to us, the BAWs. They have done more damage to us, put many of us in prison. Brian Banks, and I'll bring him up again, had many of us shot because child support. Remember the guy shot in his back? That was behind child support. Used child support as a means of extortion and kidnapping of children. Use the children against the fathers, and then had their little pookies and Ray that would come out of jail, and they would lie about that to start mess with good righteous men because they used us as place standard. You know, we're going to keep them in place. We're going to sleep with the righteous men. They're going to sleep with the righteous men so that they can get his money while Pookie's away. Soon Pookie getting out of jail, he coming for his son, and he going to thug him out. There was an example of that on Facebook where a brother was talking about it. He was thinking this woman wanted good for her son. No, she wanted the son to be like the father. She picked Pookie for a reason. Because she wanted the community destroyed. All right? And then, look. When was the last time you seen a natural looking Afro woman? that actually cared about the Afro man. I'll wait. Most of the dudes that's in relationships are settling. But we've been looking in the wrong place. They got most of these dudes thinking that Trump is the racist, and really it's the Democratic Party. And I'm talking about the party platform. There's a lot of people that's working for the Democrats that don't understand what they stand for. They're running for them and they're in their party because they were recruited. It's one of the best kept secrets. Remember, Marcus Sanger, a cornerstone of the Democratic Party, and eugenics, a cornerstone of the Democratic Party, the elimination of melanin across the world. All right. People work very hard to keep us silent. All right. But we have to try not see. I know we have sisters and unicorns. And so I want us to make sure that we make them stand out versus the trash that we're dealing with. That women like Charlotte Swan, Bertha, they are worthy of honor because they support brothers. They support good brothers trying to do good things. It's not that they support bad brothers. They support good brothers trying to do some good. Right? I will say this. In the military, especially with this knife incident where somebody threatened to stab me, a civilian woman. The people that had my back in that were white. Most of the people that were my superiors that were black did not. I had a first sergeant. So you have two when you work in a hospital unit. You have one that represents the hospital and one that represents the unit. I had first sergeants in a unit that had my back. They were Afro men. I had that when I was in Georgia. The people that tried to sabotage me the most were the BAW and a black preacher male. At Folk Golden. I just like saying that. The people that had my back were the people that I worked with. Caucasian people. The Caucasian people that knew I deserved my awards and wanted to put them in for themselves. But I just didn't think it was their job. And not only that, I had plans to do things another way. All right. I enjoyed working with the Caucasian people. It was fun. It was 6-7 days a week some of the times, but still had fun. Yeah, what's up, variants? 2020. Yep, you're right. They have no protection. These children have no protection. All right. And all this stuff, all this data is miserable data. And these females don't see themselves as culpable. The system itself doesn't see itself as culpable. The family court system itself is an unjust racist entity. All right. And also it is against men. As it looks like the Democratic made system is totally against men. Remember, all this stuff that is against men, from the courts all the way down, were products of the democratic mind in the 70s. Period. The feminist movement, all of this stuff, It was made because they could not stand men. They hated men. Period. Let's understand this. Abortion, you can't get no more. Oh, you can't get no more racist than that. All right. These are things we got to understand. Everybody's not racist, but some of the people that you didn't think were, now that you have a clear definition, that it's people that could wield a racist system against you, that have that power. Afro men don't have the power to wield any system against anybody. The Caucasian man, the Caucasian woman, and the black woman are the people that have the power in the United States to take these systems and wield them against the minority Afro male. All right. And evidence shows you that nobody has wielded this system against the Afro male with such aggression. Right? More than the BAW. All right. And with such thoroughness. Hey, what's up, Francois Benahu? All right. Nobody. These women efficiently shut down, destroyed, utterly came close to utterly destroying manhood. All right. And for some reason, a bunch of us woke up at the same time and said, hey, what's going on? No one has been more thorough in their destruction of the Afro man in this community by using this system than the BAW. Think about that the next time you think about who's racist, who's prejudiced, and then who's been working against you for how long. We've been lied on, cheated, talked about, mistreated, abused, scorned. All right? I want y'all to understand, nobody has done more damage to the Afro community Hey, Roddy Benoit, I am with you on that. All right. What's been done to the Afro man in the United States have been egregious. The system in the United States, in and of itself, is a very racist system. The people that's coming up with these businesses and organizations like Facebook and YouTube have put in place a racist system designed to keep the Afro man having an honest voice. When you have to make up words and stuff like that to mean certain other things where you can't have honest dialogue, then you have a racist system, especially when that system is meant to be a bludgeon against Afro men. Remember, on Google and YouTube, we can have the history that they think is appropriate, but they won't think our history is appropriate. They will want us to learn their history from their point of view and then learn our history from their point of view. No, because they didn't live our history. So they do not have the right to say what's racist or not. YouTube and Google do not have the right to say what's racist or not. Facebook don't have that right either. None of them have that right. And they don't have that right simply because of this. They are more the perpetrators than the victims. Period. So how do the perpetrator of a crime get to define what the crime is? Understand that. So we as a people should tell them, yeah, we're sticking a fork in you. You're done. You no longer should we let these people define and tell us what something is. Now, some of you might not agree with my definition of it, but in my opinion, this is the conclusion I came to. That you have a racist system designed to keep minorities down. There is no other minority than no one more minority than the Afro man that is indigenous to this land. All right. So you got to look at who's been wielding that system, right? And the people that have the power to wield the system, those are the racist people. And do. So it's not enough to have the power to wield the system. Some people have the power to wield the system and see the system is wicked. Ergo, they don't wield that system against Afro people. As a matter of fact, those people, like the Innocence Project, a bunch of white people, as we say, fight the system because they think that the system is unjust against primarily Afro people, but they don't like injustice anywhere. You understand? So we got to be careful of who we're labeling as racist. Trump, he gets in, he has done more for Afro people than Obama. He has gotten more Afro people out of jail than Obama. But the news that don't represent Afro people got Afro people gassed up to think that he's racist because he had some tweets about some Hispanic and making a wall. Because they said that the wall was racist. They said that not having China fly over here was racist. They had a one-star general on, and Texas Marine told me about this in an interview. He said what people didn't pay attention to is China froze all their flights within China, but it allowed its people to fly to other countries. Why would you allow your people to fly to other countries if you knew that they were infected? What China did is all those masks and stuff everybody's buying, they cornered the market on PPE so everybody would have to buy from them because they knew what was about to happen before it happened. So they went everywhere buying up all the PPE. And then as the world started to suffer, they were now having to buy PPE from China. Of course, they upped the price. But you know who won't sue China for their total culpability, their hiding of this and everything? The Democrats. Because, you know, they said to want justice from people that wronged you, well, that's racist. See, these are the same Caucasian people on the right and left that's saying, oh, for you to want justice for what we did to your ancestor and you on an everyday basis, that's racist. I mean, I did okay, but I could have done better had I had not had Caucasian or a racist system hold me down. It was just that I was able to maneuver around it. But no, that system did mean my destruction and didn't mean to hold me down because people just didn't like me because I was a smart black person. Oh, we're going to have to knock him down a peg. He went and got this certification and I couldn't get it. So we're going to knock him down. I'm going to lie on him. Let's see. Okay. Francois Beneville. The worst place for mate, you might end up with some unknown. He said, I'm leaving ATO. It's the worst place for a mate. You might end up with some unknown creature. Okay, so China is kicking Africans from their home in China. But you know whose fault that is? I'm going to tell you. And it's not in their fault in a particular way. It's their fault in this way. The Africans thought that they was making some deals with China. They thought that China was going to make deals with respect and dignity. But the problem that the Africans had is most of the people making the deals with China were money hungry. They were not just. The leadership was corrupt. Remember, they bought out the leadership of the World Health Organization. They are totally corrupt. And now the news is proving it. They knew about everything before it happened. The Chinese hid the evidence, kidnapped doctors. Oh, and by the way, like I said in the beginning, that this stuff came from out of the lab. Period. I've been said this. Oh, good point, Roddy Benoit. Most essential jobs are done by men. There was another thing that they sent. So what they tried to do, or I don't know if they're still trying to do it, but they were trying to send a lot of clothes and blankets from the people that had the virus. They were trying to send it to Africa. The African countries, if they were smart, they wouldn't let a thing from China fly in. And Trump, he got blamed for being racist for stopping flights from China. They didn't have a problem with him stopping flights from Europe, though. I keep telling you, you better watch those Democrats. Now, I talk a lot about them. What I don't want is all Republicans do, though. You have to have balance. The Democrats are just out of balance because every part of the medium that they control is lying to us. All right. I called this stuff out, and they would come in and all these clowns would be like, oh, that's fake news. And that turn out, yep. See, some of us could see this long before this happened. Y'all look at my earlier videos on this coronavirus. I told you I've done in a lab, and it was a polymerization between a couple of viruses. It didn't come from no bat. See what I mean? So that's what's going on. All right. So I'm gonna call it a day. So basically, for those that donate to the channel and do other things to the channel, like shared videos, I'm gonna be sending, if you're a knife enthusiast, as a thank you. Starting with people that donate 15. All right, so there's some that I'll send to people as thank you for that donate $15 or more to help to keep this channel afloat. Then there's $25 or more. Then you got the big giant 50. $50 or more, $60 or more, and then I have one more katana coming in for those big donors that donate $250 or more. So that's That's some. So I'm gonna just show you what these look like for a moment. And this is, some people are knives enthusiasts. All right, this is kind of for them. I gave stuff out to watch enthusiasts. This is kind of for them. I gave stuff out to watch enthusiasts at one point. Let's see. And so this is all the new people. And at this time, let me remind you, don't forget, I can't even flip this out. I like this one. I wouldn't know what to do with it. Okay. Just showing what I'm thanking people with. And I marked them with particular categories. Uh-oh. Dun-dun-dun-dun. My Rambo. Ding, 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 ding. I have some more coming in, so a few more coming in. Let's see. Oh, the big coup de grace. Okay, the big coup de grace. Coup de grace. De grace. I like this one. And this one, for those that donate $100 or more, make that 110. I forgot shit. Woo! Machete. All right. So I got a lot of guys that do that. So if you want to, because like the guy that got the katana, I had to tell him I had it. So I'll ask you if you want one of these when you donate those amount, and I'll send it to you. All right. So basically, or if you donate that amount and because you want one of these, I'll send it to you. Right. And it'll be on a first come first serve basis with the big ones. I got enough of the other ones, and I'll let you know when I'm out of the big ones, right? So I got basically different levels. All right. Hey, what's up, Michael Duncan? So that's basically what's my thank you thing for now. Anyway, so when the other stuff gets in, the katana and junk, I'll let y'all know. And so anybody that donates anything $15 and above, I'll be sending some stuff out. But I'll ask you first. All right, I'll ask you first, or you can say send me a knife or whatever. Just email me because I'll need your address to send it to anyway. All right, so that's basically it. So brothers, in the meantime, I'm gonna be busting a move. All right, and I'm about to shut this down. All right, first before I shut it down, did anybody have anything to say that they wanted to call in and mention, say, or any input? So let me, and if you did, hold on, let me get this number. All right. For those that did, let me get this number. All right, the phone number is going to be, for those that might have something to say about this. Okay, so this is the number that you're going to all right, that's it. Oops, sorry. It was telling me my temperature on my phone was too high. So I just took out the charger. Woo, hold on. All right, so if anybody wanted to call in, had anything to say, the line is open. One moment. The line is open. And even if you want to, even if you want to, if you, for those of you that are on Facebook Messenger, so there's two ways you can roll in. All right. Yeah, this thing is hot. Two ways you can roll in: Facebook Messenger, or and in the meantime, let me do this real quick. That's the one thing about doing these live things on YouTube. All right. So did anybody want to call in? One moment. Hold on, I'm going to turn this around. I should have cooled it down a little bit. Okay. All right. So if nobody wants to call in, there we go. Phone temperature has been restored. Oh, let me see something. One moment, I might have somebody. Hold on. One moment, brethren. Okay. All right, for a minute I thought it was somebody calling in. All right. So, nobody wants to call in, then I'm about to shut this down, and I will holler at you all later. All right? So, peace, love, and soul. Dang, that sound... Okay, let me do this. All right, peace, love, and soul. I will holler at y'all later and see y'all next time. For the brothers that I'm bringing stuff down to in H-Town, I will see y'all tomorrow after I get finished doing my business or taking care of business. Let me say it like that. All right, peace. I'm out.